Compare and contrast is used for different situations where I don't want to explain what happens first and second and third and fourth. They'll give us an example here. It says, suppose an author wanted to explain how these two birds are similar and how they're different. Chronological order doesn't help us. That just gives us a sequence of events. If I was explaining the life cycle of the birds, it'd be perfect. But I don't want to talk about the life cycle. I want to talk about how this red bird and how this yellow bird are similar and how they're different. Let's take a look at this. The cardinal and the goldfinch are two common birds. Both are brightly colored. Both are common at bird feeders, but the birds have some differences. The male cardinal is a bright red, while the male goldfinch is yellow. Cardinals like shrubs and trees, while goldfinches prefer open meadows. So there, instead of putting everything in order of how it happened, they used compare and contrast. They talked about how the birds were the same and how they were different. And just like with chronological order, there are keywords, there are clues in the writing that can show us that they're using compare and contrast to show the differences. So look at the words they're using here. Both. So they're showing us here what the birds have in common. Both of them are brightly colored. Both of them you'll see at bird feeders. So that's the same. They use the word but to show, but here is how they're different. Now we're going to start talking about the differences. They use the word while to show that one of the birds does something, but the other one does not. It might do something a little different, or it might do something a lot different. Like here, they're both bright colors, but the cardinal is a bright red, and the goldfinch is a bright yellow. The cardinals like shrubs and trees to hang out in, but the goldfinches prefer windows, open windows, to hang out. We've seen this before. When you compare and contrast, you use something called a Venn diagram. We've used this before in class. The Venn diagram can help us show what is true only about one, what is true only about the other, and then in the middle, what is true about both of them. So we could have the cardinal on one side, the goldfinch on the other, and in the middle, what's true about both. We could also use a chart or a table like this. Put the goldfinches on one side, the cardinals on the other, and then we could write down the information for each one. And if the same information is right next to each other, we know it's the same. If it's different, we know that's different. So we're going to practice today with some compare and contrast, but we're also going to practice with a different text feature as well. The next one we're going to talk about is cause and effect. Yes, ma'am. No, like I said, we're going to save Thursday for tomorrow.
Sorry, didn't hear.
That's okay. So cause and effect is another text structure, a different way to organize your writing. Cause and effect has some keywords as well, some clues that let you know they're using cause and effect, like cause, effect. They might use as a result or consequently. And those ones sound a little bit, I guess, fancier, you could say. And they use the word so, one of our conjunctions, our fanboy words. So let's take a look at this paragraph. It's written in cause and effect text structure. It says the night's snowstorm had many effects. People were out shoveling snow from their sidewalks. The power lines were draped with ice. Snow plows drove down every street. Children were the happiest of all. The unexpected snow caused school to be canceled. So in that paragraph, they gave us one cause and a lot of effects. The cause was the snowstorm. Who can give me one effect of the snowstorm? The snowstorm happened, and because of the snowstorm, Noah, what's one of the effects that the snowstorm had?
School was canceled.
School was canceled. That's one of the effects. What's another effect besides school was canceled? Jaylene?
People had to shovel out the snow on their sidewalk.
People had to go out to their sidewalks with shovels and scoop out all the snow. There were some other effects. What else? People had to scoop the snow off their sidewalks. School was canceled. What was another effect? Messiah, what was another effect of this snowstorm?
Some of the ice got on the power lines.
The power lines were covered with ice. So one cause can have a lot of effects. Like in this paragraph, there was only one cause. All of it happened because of the snowstorm. But there were 4 different effects they told us about. So we talked about those 2 other text structures, compare and contrast, and cause and effect. Just like we did with chronological order, we have some more practice to do with compare and contrast and with cause and effect. So the first one I want you to take a look at says writing using compare and contrast. Writing using compare and contrast. They give us on slide number 1 an example of a paragraph written using compare and contrast. So in this case, our topic was fruits and veggies. It says, what are the similarities and differences between fruits and veggies? Both develop from plants. However, fruits develop from the flower of a plant, while the other parts of the plant are categorized as veggies. Fruits have seeds, while veggies have roots, stems, and leaves. Both contain vitamins, fiber, and sugars. And just like with the chronological order, we are going to write a paragraph using compare and contrast. So for this example, what I want you to do is I want you to pick 2 different fruits to write about. So you could choose something like apples, bananas, strawberries, kiwis, limes, lemons, pineapples, pears, any kind of fruits that you like, but you want to pick 2 different fruits. And then I want you to write 4 sentences using compare and contrast to talk about how the fruits are the same and how the fruits are different. Kylie. Well, that's good. That means you'll have lots of ones to choose from. Just pick the first 2 that come to mind. The first 2 fruits you think of. That works. 18. That's going to be in our classwork. The topic is reading, and the assignment says writing using compare and contrast. Well, that one would be writing using chronological order. It looks very similar, but look at the title carefully. Now, Messiah, if you don't like one of the fruits, that's actually okay. It doesn't have to be two fruits that you like. In fact, that could be one of the differences you write about. You could say, I really like this fruit, but the other one, no, I don't like it. You're going to write one paragraph, 4 sentences about two different fruits, whichever two fruits you want to talk about. And you're going to write about them using compare and contrast. Talk about how they are the same and how they are different. When you finish writing the paragraph, you can go ahead and turn in your work. Yes, Jaylene. It's under classwork. The topic is reading, and the assignment is writing using compare and contrast. Yeah, that might make me want to stop eating that fruit too, Messiah. I'm going to give you all some time to work on this, and then in a little bit, we're going to switch over to the next part that we're going to work on today. So make sure that we're not wasting our time. Make sure that we're writing this paragraph so that we're already ready to move on to the second part when we finish with this. Remember, you just pick two different fruits, and then you write a paragraph using compare and contrast. Tell me, how are they the same and how are they different? You can find the second part, the next part we're going to do, in the exact same place as the one we just finished. You're going to go to classwork, you're going to click on reading, and we're going to click on writing using cause and effect. Yes, Jada. They can, but I mean, so can other fruits as well. So cause and effect. That was like the short paragraph we read about the snowstorm and how there was ice on the power lines, there was snow in people's driveway, that they had to cancel school. Here's another example of cause and effect writing. Eating late can cause several negative outcomes. When you consume a meal or a snack late in the evening, you increase your blood sugar levels, heart disease, and acidity. Therefore, your body becomes unhealthy. Even our brains are affected by late night eating. An individual may feel sluggish and have a harder time concentrating during the day. Because calories are being ingested at late night hours, you are more likely to store fat in your body, leading to weight gain. So they're telling us cause and effect now. If you do this one thing, here's an effect, and here's another effect, and here's another effect it could have. So again, we're going to practice this time using cause and effect. Yeah, when it says late Messiah, it doesn't mean like it doesn't mean like 7 o'clock. It means more like if you're eating at like 11, at 12, at 1 in the morning, or 2 in the morning. That's what it means by late. So we're going to write about cause and effect. This time, our cause is going to be studying for a test. So you can start off your paragraph by saying that. Studying for a test can have many effects. And then I want you to come up with what effects studying for a test could have. And again, we're going for 4 sentences. We're going to have one cause, studying for a test. What are 3 things that could happen because you studied for a test? And again, they give us some keywords to use when we're writing, like since, or therefore, or caused by, or because, or effects. That one I don't want to, Messiah, because I want everyone, if you want to write your sentence a little bit different, you can. Just make sure you start off by telling me the cause. So again, your first sentence should be something like, studying for a test can have many effects. Doesn't have to be exactly the same, but something similar to that. And then tell me 3 things that could affect. What are 3 things that could happen because you study for a test? And again, I'll give you some time to work on that. What's up, Alexa? This one is cause and effect, and your cause is studying for a test. What could happen because you study for a test?
What happened?
Well, that would be good for compare and contrast. But this one we're doing cause and effect. So we're just going to focus on what happens if you study for a test. That's your cause. So what are the effects of you studying for that test? What's going to happen after you study? You want 3 effects. So 1 cause, 3 effects gives us our 4 sentences, our paragraph.
Okay.
No problem. Jada, what's up? Yeah, when you finish with the other writing, you turn it in, Jada. And the same thing with this one. When you finish the cause and effect writing, go ahead and turn it in. Nakai, you're writing about the cause and effect of studying for a test. So studying for a test is your cause. What is the effect of that? If you study for a test, what will happen? You want 3 effects. 3 different things that could happen because you studied for a test.